Hi, can you state your name and your artistic style for the people?
Uh, Hi everyone. I am Shantavia Smith, also known as Tae the Artist, formerly known as Lucid the Dreamer, and I guess you can say I'm an abstract movement artist.
Awesome. So, what brings you here today after all this time?
Uh, I think maybe it's time to tell my story about my journey. Maybe this is the part of the therapy that I need.
Therapy? That's deep. Thank you for releasing. So, how did you start dancing?
Um, it was always like a God given talent. I think that I always had it in me. I've been dancing since I could walk on 2 feet. Like anybody who asks me, that's always pretty much my answer because that's as far back as I can remember. Um, but yeah, it's always a God given talent. My family on my dad's side can dance and sing and all this stuff. And so can my mom's side. So it was kind of like, um, yeah, it was kind of like inherited, I guess.
So, what intrigued you to want to dance a specific style? Did anything inspire you?
Um, this is about to sound so crazy, but the Andre 3000 video, Hey Ya, that actually inspired my dance style. Uh, Also from watching like Chris Brown, Sierra. Also from watching the Twins at one point. Shout out to them. Yeah, and I've always been kind of a weird person. Um, when it comes to just art in general, and also shout out to Lauren Hill. She's like a big impact on why I move the way that I do, or why I express the way that I do within my movement.
So, God must have been pretty present throughout your career. Is that how you made the most important decisions?
Yeah, like I said, like it is a God given talent. So, everything, everything that I did up until this point, and even moving forward, was always a leap of faith. Everything that God spoke to me about, I always moved through His Spirit. Because like if I always moved on my own understanding, nothing would come out right. So I think that yeah, with every movement, every time I traveled, everywhere that I went, um God was always present. I always had to make sure of that because I don't know where I would be if it wasn't for his decision making and not like not mine, if that makes sense.
Okay, I see. Were you part of any teams? Are you still with them?
Um I was a part of quite a few teams. Uh and no, I'm not with any teams anymore.
Okay, okay. So tell me how each of your teammates that you were a part of affected your life within dance. Tell me about the experience.
Um, okay. Well, I would say when I was a part of Floor Trouble, that was the first team that I'd ever been on. I would say that Bonafide, he impacted my life in a way of thinking about this art as hard work, um, as a way of like hard work gets everything done. Hard work beats talent. So I would say he impacted my life in that way. Um, I would say that Trust inspired me in a way of like, don't be afraid to be weird within your movement and within your style, and to just not care what anybody thinks and how they feel about your art because it's your art. Um, Slim Reaper, he definitely was like a backbone for like the team, and especially for me because we grew very close at one point. He definitely pushed me to new heights, and he's definitely one of those people that I think inspired me to live every day like it's my last, because you never know. Tomorrow isn't promised, you know. So he definitely impacted my life in that way, and more so with creativity as well. He's a very creative person. Uh, Rogue, I think, don't be afraid to be grimy. Just because you're a woman, don't hold back because you're a woman. You know. And she actually showed me, like, at a certain point, like what a real friend was, and to always be there for somebody and always to support somebody no matter the circumstance. um, she definitely showed me a lot of that, and she impacted my life a lot in that way. T Motion, I think I think he inspired me in a way of, like, through trial and through tribulation, to never stop moving forward. No matter what you go through, don't stop moving forward. And he's actually one of the realest people that I've ever met. He's not afraid of correcting me. He's not afraid of correction. Um, yeah. I think Tyler Titan. I'm sorry. Uh, I think that he definitely, he's somebody that I could talk to God about. He always has. He's never afraid to ask questions. And that impacted me a lot too, because, like, it made me realize, like, don't be afraid to ask questions when you don't have knowledge about something and when you're curious about something. Always ask questions, and never be afraid to speak your mind. Never be afraid to um, push out your own perspective. Don't let anybody else's perspective cloud your life. So, yeah, shout out to him. And I also think that I was on other crews too, and I think that these other crews didn't impact my life as much as these people. And I think also, um, they also impacted my life in a way of, like, you never know when, and I'm not going to say any names, because it's not everyone in totality, in these crews, but you never know when somebody's going to switch up on you. You never know when you guys are going to grow apart. You never know when you're going to feel alone on a team. And you never know where life is going to take you. You never know where God is going to take you. You never know when He's going to withdraw you from people. You never know if there's going to be jealousy behind it, if there's going to be deceitfulness, if there's going to be betrayal, um, if you're going to be used or if you're the one using them. And I think those are a lot of the things that I endured with being on multiple teams.
Okay, so do you think that they know what you endured while being alongside them and how it affected you in any way?
Um, I've had talks with some of them. So some of them know uh how much certain things impacted me, but, like, they don't know everything that I went through. They don't know about me being homeless. They don't know about um the abuse that I endured, the mental abuse. They don't know about these things. They just know anything that's probably surface level, anything that they've seen with their own eyes and word of mouth, I would say.
Through all that, what has been your greatest accomplishment so far?
I think I think that that's still being defined. I think that I haven't reached that level in my journey yet. I feel like that I've accomplished, a lot of great things, but I don't think God has brought me to my peak yet. Um, I would say maybe one thing, but this is probably, like, so far. I did this project where I was able to dance in a harness. Um, I was able to dance in the air. I think that that was one of the greatest accomplishments for me because I'd never done anything like that. Like I peeped after, like it was so much, but I think that that was the most like I enjoyed myself, and it changed me. It changed me in so many different ways.
And what has been the most heartbreaking moment?
Um, I think the most heartbreaking moment for me was when I realized that no one had my back but me. When I was cold and alone in different states, I would look around and there would be nobody there to support me. It would only be me. Um, when I would hear rumors about myself, and I knew that they weren't true, and nobody believed me. I think, and the rumors I would hear were from the people that were the closest to me. So I think that that was probably the most heartbreaking.
So, what attacks did you deal with in life to lead up to this dance journey, and how did you conquer them?
Um, I think I dealt with a lot of when I was growing up. I dealt with a lot of physical, mental, and verbal abuse from my family. Not more so my immediate family, but my family in totality. I dealt with being molested at a very young age, um, which it transformed my sexuality in a way for a very long time, and things that I still do struggle with to this day. It dealt with how I viewed the world and how I viewed people, and it made me it made me an introvert. Because I think I was too observant. I observed everything around me and how everybody else was treated, and how I was treated. So it made me feel like I was alone and I had to keep to myself. And the fact that I understood that at a very young age, it built up a lot of anger and frustration on the inside of me, and that's what I think that that's what brought out a lot of my artistic creativity. So I think the most damaged artists are the most creative.
Did you ever do any of the abusing in the midst of it all subconsciously?
Yeah. Um, I think that I did when it came to asking for favors and seeing if somebody would help me just because they loved me when I was really down bad. And it wasn't because I knew that I could. I think that most times I was in desperate times. And you know the saying, desperate times call for desperate measures. So I think that in these most vulnerable moments, I was reaching out to people that I believe could help me. Um, and it didn't matter how many times I did it. I wasn't thinking in the moment that, yeah, if I reached out to you maybe like 20 times to help me in different ways or in the same way, whether it be for money, whether it be for stability, uh, just to follow a dream. Um, I think that I've definitely used people in certain ways subconsciously, not just because I can get over it, but just subconsciously.
So, what coping mechanisms did you do to use while dealing with these things? How were you able to conquer them?
Um, I think the I think I used to at some point I used to smoke weed a lot, smoke marijuana, to deal with whatever I had going on around me. Um, if it wasn't that, then I would cry. That was a coping mechanism for me. I would cry or scream, or I would journal. Um, I would write down my thoughts, my dreams,